Night at 9:35, the 22nd of March, 2026. I just concluded the NGC 3100 to 3149 series, and I had some difficulties with tracking. I was getting comatose stars. The sky has cleared up somewhat, and we are now getting a very nice view of NGC 6566 and a NGC and Messier 6566 and an NGC Edge-On Galaxy 3195, maybe. I'll have to look it up. Anyway, what we're trying to do here is getting a preliminary view to make sure that we don't get comatose stars. I'm going to run the magnification up, center all three galaxies in the field a little bit. We're going to give it a chance for the stars to distend. If they don't distend, despite the cold and the lateness of the hour, we're going to push forward with the second half of a century view this evening of the NGC 3150 to 3199 series. And what a kickoff view we have. 65, 66, and NGC 30, blah, 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 whatever it is over there at the tail end of Leo the Lion. What a great view of three very fine galaxies, and I haven't got an distension of any stars yet. I just made some mechanical adjustments, leaving the model in place, and this is the result. So let's move on to NGC 3150. NGC 3150 is a galaxy, one of several galaxies in Leo Minor. Magnitude 15.4. Wow, that one looks like it might be 51.4, but there are so many galaxies present. 0.5 by 0.4 arc minute in size, spiral with peculiarities, and in a complex set like that, you'd expect gravitational anomalies. 323 million light years distant, maybe 50K in diameter, RA 101326, declination plus 38, 3926. I'm going to move quickly tonight. It's getting late, it's getting cold, and let's move on. NGC 3151 is part of that same group. It's a galaxy in Leo Minor, magnitude 13.8, 0.8 by 0.4 arc minutes. Lenticular spiral, 311 million light years distant. RA 101329, declination plus 38, 3710. NGC 3152 is part of the same group. And we're seeing that it is a galaxy of magnitude 14.2, so faintish. It's going to be further to the east, presumably. 0.5 by 0.3 arc minutes should be pretty intense for 14.2. Spiral with a bar, lenticular class, 288 million light years distant, RA 101334, declination plus 38, 50, 34. Let's see if we got some more. Thought I'd center that up once again before we go on to further south into Leo. NGC 3153 is a galaxy in Leo. It is magnitude 12.6, right in the middle of the field of view, 2.1 by 0.9 arc minutes. Spiral with a lowercase c, 125 million light years distance, 70,000 light years in diameter. I think that's our sweetie right there. Pushing it up to 150x. Right ascension is 10, 12, 50. Declination plus 12, 39, 58. NGC 3154 is a galaxy near that bright star in Leo, magnitude 14.3, 0.9 by 0.4 arc minutes, spiral with lowercase b, 296 million light years distant, RA is 101301 with a declination of plus 170203. And yes, indeed, the sky has improved and we are getting better stacks in terms of images, and maybe it had something to do with the sky becoming more transparent. You never know with these things. NGC 3156 is squarely in the middle of the field. It's a galaxy in sextans, magnitude 12.3, 1.9 by 1.2 lenticular spiral, 61 million light years distant, maybe 40,000 light years. Diameter, right ascension 101241, declination plus 30746. NGC 3158 is one of that group of galaxies there, but further to the east. Magnitude 11.9, so it's got to be this brighty. I wonder why it was further down. Okay, 2.3 by 2.2 arc-minute elliptical class 2, 318 million light years distant. Right ascension 101350, declination plus 384552. It's possible it may be this galaxy here, but this is the brightest in the group, and typically they are sub-magnitude 12. This one's 11.9. 3159 is part of that same group. Let's zoom in and assume it's somewhere near the middle of the field. It's galaxy in Leo Minor, 13.6. It's an elliptical 2 with peculiarities. 1 arc minute by 1 arc minute, 310 million light years distant, maybe 90. K, right ascension 101352, declination plus 38, 39, 14. Once again, let's just go ahead and settle them all in. I've got this edge on over here. I wonder about that. I do believe we've identified that edge on galaxy. However, it is seriously down to the western part of the field whenever I launch, so there is some serious problems still. This edge-on galaxy is NGC 3160. I did not call up the data, so we'll get a number of stacks on this, and I'm going to go ahead and allow it to do that because I really do want to capture this field of galaxies, but we're going to drop it back down to the better view at 105x. 3160, magnitude 15.2, 1.3 by 0.3. That does not make any sense. So possibly this is our edge on right here. Ooh, we still may get this other edge on. It's probably more like magnitude 12.5 anyway. Spiral with peculiarities, 311 million light years distant, maybe 100K in diameter, right ascension 101355, declination plus 38, 5032. We are not done with this galaxy group yet. I like galaxy groups. I don't have to spend much time with the scope. They're beautiful, and you don't have to spend much time with the scope transiting north-south all the time. Here we have NGC 3161 galaxy in Leo Minor, magnitude 13.5, very intense and small, because it's 0.4 by 0.3 arc minute. It could be this one right here. It's an elliptical, but here's another one. Oh, all of these are, wow, these are very mature galaxies. 301 million light years distant, RA 101359, declination plus 38, 39, 24. I haven't been keeping track of distances, but I do believe these are all co-located in space. Oh, this is a beauty. Look at this, NGC 3162. Right in the middle of the field and pretty far north. Okay, let's begin with our 105x view. It is, it's also NGC 3575, so somebody really made some ledger entries there that were incorrect. Magnitude 11.6, 3.1 by 2.7 arc minute, spiral with a bar, lowercase bc, and an annularity. 61 million light years distant means it's probably about 50K in diameter. I think we can see the annularity plus plenty of texture in the NGC 3162. 10 hours, 13 minutes, 31 seconds. Declination plus 22 degrees, 44 minutes, 14 seconds. I don't think we need to push the magnification on this one. I do believe we're back into our galaxy group, kind of shifted off to the west. But let's see if we can't get it framed up a little bit. It's a galaxy in NGC 3163 is a galaxy in Leo Minor, magnitude 13.3, 1 by 1, lenticular spiral, 283 million light years distant. Right ascension 101407 with a declination of plus 38, 3908. Let's stay with this 105x view, frame them all, and we're now looking off in this direction here in the galaxy group of maybe 10 galaxies. NGC 3165, there's a pair of galaxies right there, but let's see if we can track it down. In sextants, magnitude 13.9, 1.3 by 0.7 arc minutes. They look a little too bright for that. Spiral with a D and some kind of M, lowercase m, 60 million light years distance. So a smally, RA 101331, declination plus 322. Kind of hard to figure this one out. AdventuresInDeepSpace.com. Plus 3 degrees, 22 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, NGC 3166 is that bright galaxy in the field. Data hasn't popped up yet. All right, so I believe it's probably somewhere around magnitude of 12. Actually, it's brighter than that. 3166 galaxy in sextants, magnitude 10.4. Large, 4.8 by 1.9 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lenticular A, 60 million light years distant, RA 101345, declination plus 3, 25, 30. All right, its neighbor is NGC 3169, and it did end up pretty much in the center of the field. This is a magnitude 10.2, 4.2 by 2.9 arc minute, spiral with a lowercase a, 56 million light years distance, so maybe 75K, RA 101414, declination plus 3 degrees, 28 minutes and 2 seconds. NGC 3171, as you can tell, we've dipped down pretty far south through the galaxy and Hydra. We're looking for a magnitude 12.8, 1.6 by 1.1 arc minutes in size. There's something faint there. Lenticular spiral, 155 million light years, RA 101536, declination minus 20, 3850. By the way, I just skipped over the galaxy that's closest to Pole. I think it was NGC 3172. Proxima Borealis, I believe. Anyway, I'm going to go on to NGC 3173. NGC 3173, let's see where it turns up, is a galaxy in Antlia. Magnitude 12.8, 2.1 by 1.7 arc minutes, spiral with lowercase c, 110 million light years distant. Could be a challenge. It's at minus 27 degrees, 41 minutes, 34 seconds with an RA of 101435. Okay, we should be able to pick this one out even though it's pretty far south. We're looking for NGC 3175. It's a magnitude 11.2 galaxy, 5.1 by 1.3 arc minutes in Antlia. Should be able to make it out quite visibly. There's something very faint and large there. 44 million light years distant, RA 101442, with a declination of minus 28 degrees, 52 minutes and 18 seconds. Okay, I've allowed 8 stacks to come up. I do believe we're seeing it right there. Let's do our little test of photon capture by zooming in. Yes, it does seem to get brighter, more distinct when I go from 70 to 100% e-zoom. Okay, we're making pretty good progress now. We're at NGC 3176, 13 minutes and change in Galaxy and Hydra. We're not seeing much of a sky here now though. Magnitude 14.4, 0.6 by 0.5 arc minute, 157 million light year distant. Galaxy without any kind of specifications and morphology. RA is 101452, declination minus 20 degrees and 45 seconds. Okay, heading north now, we're at the NGC 3177. It's that bright galaxy in Leo, magnitude 12.4, 61 million light year distant, 1.5 by 1.2 arc minutes, kind of a smallie, spiral with lowercase b, c. RA 101634, plus 21 degrees, 7 minutes, 24 seconds. NGC 3178 is near the diffraction bar in Hydra. It's a galaxy, magnitude 13, 2 to 1 aspect, 1.4 by 0.7, spiral with a lowercase c. I think we're seeing it there. RA is 101609, declination minus 1547 and 29 seconds. Consult with AdventuresInDeepSpace.com. NGC 3179, wow, it's kind of near this very large galaxy, whatever that is there. It's a galaxy in Ursa Majoris, magnitude 13.1, 1.8 by 0.5 arc minutes. And that ain't it, but whatever it is, it's huge. Lenticular spiral, 324 million light years distant, RA 101757, with a declination of plus 41 of 651. Not quite making out our galaxy in the field, however. Well, there it probably is right there. Let's see, 13.1, 1.8 by 0.5. Yeah. But it is a lenticular with a bright core. That could very well be it. Consult. Okay, we now can determine what that is. NGC 3180 is a nebula at Ursa Majoris. Now, doesn't seem very nebular to me. It seems more like a galactic presence. But it's got a star in it. Okay, it's also NGC 3184. 28 million light years distant. I don't know. It's called a nebula, but it makes no sense. It's an emissive type, but 28 million light years distant? Research needed there. RA 101810 with a declination plus 41 26 54. I'm glad we ran into it, but it looks like it's a spiral galaxy with a very minimal core right here in the middle. Requires research and a bright, nice, very nice view. All right, that is a galaxy. It's a galaxy with nebulosity that have distinct attributions in the NGC catalog. NGC 3181 is a nebula in Ursa Majoris. It's inside NGC 3184. It's an emissive type nebula, 28 million light years distant. RA is 101811. Declination plus 41 24 44. This has to be a Messier galaxy. Let's see, we're going to get some more of this in here. All right, NGC 3184 is the designation for the entire galaxy in Ursa Majoris. Its magnitude 9.8, 7.6 by 7.4 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, and a lowercase c, which accounts for that very small diminutive core region. 28 million light years distant, says this is about 75,000 light years in diameter. RA 101816, declination plus 41 25 27. Let's see if we can remember this to go out on, because I can do various exposure times to show you what it would look like through smaller scopes, especially anything with 4 to 6 inch range. NGC 3185 is a galaxy in Leo. We got several of them here. I do believe we've seen this group before. Magnitude 12.2, 2.1 by 1.4, so this is more likely to be it here. There are several Aegeons. This is a kind of a distended galaxy here. Could be it. Spiral with a bar, lowercase bc. Yes, this is an unevolved galaxy. This is probably our study. You don't want to shift them all out, though. 59 million light years distant, 2.1 by 1.4 arc minutes. Right ascension 101738 with a declination of plus 21 14 17 seconds. NGC 3186 is a galaxy in Leo, but much further south. Magnitude 15.9 by 0.9. Simply listed as a spiral some 607 million light years distant. Well, it's got to be quite a spiral. Right ascension 101737 with a declination of plus 658 15. That distance gives it a size of probably over 200,000 light years in diameter. The question is whether we're going to see it or not. There does appear to be somewhat of a core right there. I'm kind of hoping we're going to get some more far north or far south studies. It's getting very cold. Okay, we're back to that other group of galaxies again. In Leo, magnitude 13.4, 2.9 by 1.2. This looks too edge-on for that. Maybe that one. Let's check it out. Spiral with a bar, lowercase c with peculiarities. That's too bright a core. How about that one there? 70 million light years distant. RA is 101747 with a declination of plus 21 52 24. I'm voting for that one there, although there's an even fainter galaxy right there. But that one looks more like maybe 14.5. Okay, NGC 3189 is probably that bright galaxy right there. I gotta go ahead and access the data once again. It's part of that same group. This may be the group it's named after. This is NGC 3189 is also 3190. It's magnitude 11.1. It has a 4 by 1.5 arc-minute size. It's a spiral with a lowercase a, 61 million light years distant, so maybe 75,000 light years in diameter. RA is 101804 with a declination of plus 21 degrees, 49 minutes, 54 seconds. Well, we're going to be seeing probably the principal galaxy of this group right now. It's NGC 3193. Calling up the data as you enjoy the multiple stacks on this galaxy group. Centering up, I believe we're going to be observing data on this one. NGC 3193 is a galaxy in Leo, magnitude 10.9. It's an elliptical class 0. 2.9 by 2.8 arc minutes, 63 million light years distant, puts it at about 50,000 light years in diameter. RA 101824, declination plus 21, 5338. And yes, those ellipticals do lose size as they accumulate stars. Okay, we're heading towards the end, folks. NGC 3196 is a galaxy in Leo. It is magnitude 15.7, small, 0.3 by 0.2 arc minutes, maybe right there. Lenticular spiral, which means it should be probably magnitude 14.5 or so. 66 million light years distant, very, very tiny for that distance. RA 101849, declination plus 27 degrees, 40 minutes and 6 seconds. Okay, we're about to wrap here. And this one's a little bit farther north, but I figured I'd go for it anyway. NGC 3198 galaxy in Ursa Majoris. It's magnitude 10.3, 8.1 by 3 arc minutes, spiral with bar lowercase c, and an annularity. Unfortunately, we're getting reflected roof tri-light, plus probably some obstruction. We're at right ascension 10, 1954 with a declination of plus 45 degrees, 33 minutes and 8 seconds. I'm going to allow it to accumulate as I look for 30 up. There is no 3199 visible to us. We're going to go back to NGC 3184 and do a longer term exposure. We're now 22 and a half minutes into this video. I am freezing, but it's well worthwhile to do that. Okay, we have NGC 3184 at the bottom of the screen. And we are now we're seeing all kinds of luminosity in the sky. We are not going to get a very good view. The clouds must be rolling in. I'm freezing. And this is going to be just a 5-second exposure to remind ourselves to later get a good view of NGC 3184 and try to do multiple exposures, especially 0.1 arc seconds, to see if it would turn up in a 4-inch scope or whether or not it would have been visible to Charles Messier and Pierre Méchain. And with that, I am going to rub my hands together to get warmer as I say, Carpe Noctem. Come on, mouse pointer.